We are the losers of this season. 16th place. To rub salt and wounds, Tottenham will probably win and will probably come 17th place. The team that avoids relegation. And we get to European final. We get offered a lifeline. It is Tottenham, a Tottenham side that haven't won a trophy in years. And we let Tottenham stroll to Europa League trophy. That is the easiest trophy Tottenham will ever win in their lives. Tottenham didn't even have to do anything. They just had to defend because they knew, Ange Postecoglou knew, well, this Man United team, they can't score. They can't break down teams. Because I'm going to be honest, that was the worst final in history. And I'm not saying that because we lost. What did Tottenham offer today? They got a jammy own goal that won the game 1-0 through Brennan Johnson and us making our own mistakes, through us giving the ball away. That is what's won Tottenham a trophy. But we had over 60 minutes of play to respond to that and score. And Tottenham parked the bus. Tottenham didn't do anything in the second half. I don't even think they had a shot in the second half. They just parked the bus and we still did nothing. Now, Tottenham had the luck today. Mickey van der Ven clears it off the line. Vicario made a great save at the end. And look, they didn't even cause Onana any trouble, but somehow Onana managed to let that pathetic thing go in. Luke Shaw and Onana was absolutely pathetic. Look, Tottenham had the luck today. And they defended well. And we'll give Tottenham credit for defending well. I don't think Tottenham were great. I think they defended well and they did their job. It was a professional performance. They defended well. But they didn't give us anything. And we still lost. That's the worst part. We let Tottenham walk in and win this final because we didn't show up. Casemiro giving the ball away. Bruno Fernandes is the whole reason we're in this final. Is the whole reason this club isn't relegated. And Bruno Fernandes didn't show up today. I thought Maguire was atrocious. I thought Luke Shaw was bad. I thought Onana was atrocious. I thought Højlund was invisible. I'm going to say this now. Kobbie Mainoo must be sitting there thinking, what am I doing? He scored the final in Lyon to get us through. Why is Kobbie Mainoo getting 2 minutes? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Do you know who showed up today? Dorgu, Ahmad and Yoro. Dorgu, Ahmad and Yoro are the only players that put in the performance that I am happy with individually. And I'm not even saying that some of them were above a 6 out of 10. I think Yoro was a solid 6 out of 10. Dorgu and Ahmad were a solid 6 out of 10. Yoro was a 7 out of 10. But they were the only 3 players that showed up today. Mason Mount was a ghost. Rasmus Højlund, despite playing with one less man. Andre Onana, from minute 1, I was shaky. I said my biggest fear going into this game is Andre Onana. Now, Vicario was shaky as well, but they had Mickey van der Ven there. Mickey van der Ven has won Tottenham that trophy. And do you know what the worst part is? I predicted this. I'm going to show you a clip of what I said on We Are Tottenham TV the other day, if I can get it up. My head goes, oh, Man United going to score a goal because we can't score. And could Tottenham nick it? Brennan Johnson on the back post, sort of jammy goal kind of thing. My part of my head thinks Tottenham could nick this 1-0 and part the bus and Brennan Johnson jammy goal. I called it. Do you know what the worst part is? I kept saying in my live streams, my head says Tottenham, but my heart will back Man United. My heart will always back Man United. But the reason I called it, and when I was on We on Tottenham TV, and I've been saying all week, I think Tottenham win this 1-0 for a jammy Brennan Johnson goal, is because I've watched Manchester United all season, and I've watched Tottenham all season, and I knew that unless Manchester United put in an effing shift, and we took our chances, and we performed, and we scored, it was going to be 1-0 Tottenham. Because even though Tottenham are just as crap as us, they could put the ball in the back of the net, and we can't. And when they have Romero and Van der Ven fit, then he can defend. And I knew, and I predicted Tottenham 1-0. We Are Tottenham TV, but I said my heart will say 3-1 United, but my head's going to go 1-0 Tottenham, Brennan Johnson, scrappy goal, and they're going to score through the scrappiest goal ever. Because I watch Man United week in week. I've watched us the last 6-7 months of the season. We aren't bad. We aren't like bad in the sense of we're being run over. But we're very much just can't do anything going forward. When I watch Manchester United, it is, we have a bit more possession, we probably have more chances, but we can't make anything of our chances. And then we have a lapse in concentration, a silly error, and a team wins 1-0. For the first 60, 70 minutes versus Chelsea, we were the better side. Both Nottingham Forest games, we were the better side. In the last 3 months, there's been a lot of games where I say we were the better side, but we were in more control. We had possession, we had a lot of the ball, but we did nothing with it. And all of a sudden, the team that had caused us no issues had gone and beaten us 1-0 because we can't put the ball in the back of the net, because we can't break down teams. I wish I was wrong, but I've been saying all week, something tells me Tottenham are going to win this 1-0. Something tells me that we're just going to concede a goal and they're going to pot the bus and we're going to struggle. because every Premier League game has indicated that. And I know in the Europa League we've been good, but we've not come against Premier League opposition. This is what I mean. We've not come against Premier League opposition in the Europa League. We were right against the teams outside the Premier League, but when it comes to the Premier League, they know how to defend. They know how to beat us in the box. They know how to use physicality. And while Tottenham did nothing, and they didn't have to do anything, because once that Brennan Johnson goal went in, they get to part of the bus. They get to do what they want. Just go turn the light up, actually. I just knew it. I knew it because I'm not going to lie. I'm not convinced by Amorim. I'm not Amorim out because the squad's crap and we'll probably finish 14th no matter what the manager was. But I'm not convinced with what I've seen in the last 3 months of the league. I think back in bringing some attackers will improve. I think we're more control at games. But I've seen it coming. I've seen it coming. It's so many games where we're just nothing. We have the ball. We're more control. We can see the city going as nothing. It's the same old same. We're boring to watch. We're 16th in the Premier League. We are boring to watch. We could finish 17th. We are trophyless. We're not in Europe next season. We're not getting Gyökeres. We might not even get Delap. We are financially in a bad position now. I know this is probably a crap match reaction. I'm not going to lie. I know this is probably an awful match reaction. And I know I'm being negative. And I know if I film this tomorrow, it'd be a much more rational match reaction. But right now, all I'm thinking is we've let Tottenham win the trophy. We didn't even cause Tottenham problems. At least score a goal, make it 1-1, take it to extra time. We didn't cause Tottenham issues. You know, the only thing they had to do was that Mickey van de Ven clearance, which was fantastic. And the difference between Man United and Tottenham was a Mickey van de Ven clearance and Luke Shaw and Onana putting the ball in the back of our own net. That sadly was the difference. But I look at it and I think Maynard could have come on earlier. I think Garnacho could have gone earlier. I think Xerxes could have gone earlier. Rasmus Højlund was lost. Onana was a liability. Maguire was poor, passing the ball away. Bruno didn't show up. Casemiro didn't show up. Our big players didn't show up. Ahmad was the only player that looked like he was going to make things happen. But every time Ahmad got the ball, he had about 100 players marking him. He had about 100 players. Everybody was on him. And we've seen it against Premier League opposition. We get outdone physically. They press us and we get nervy at the back. We make a silly mistake because we can't mark runners coming into the box. And then we go 1-0 down, even if we've had the higher XG or done this or done that, because we can't score. Man United had a higher XG than Tottenham today. Tottenham had 2 shots all game. Tottenham created 0.0 XG against Man United in the second half of that game. You know, we had the higher XG. Tottenham created no XG in the second half. They had 3 shots to our 16. You know, it was one of those. It was one of those where we didn't take our chance. We didn't really have chances, but maybe the Luke Shaw header, the Van de Ven clearance. I think if we had a better striker today, we would have won. I still believe if we had a better striker today, we would have won, but we don't. We've got Højlund up top. And it all goes down to the Glazers when they thought, all right, we're not getting Harry Kane, let's get Rasmus Højlund. When they decided to blow the budget on this. When they decided to sack Ten Hag mid-season to bring in Amorim, get rid of Rashford and Antony, and only bring in Dorgu. Do you know what I mean? Amorim got a lot wrong today. I'm not fully convinced by Amorim. I don't like his approach, but I'm going to back him through the summer and back him through next season. If the best news that we can have tomorrow is that the Glazers sell the club. If the Glazers really care about this club, they'll put it up for sale tomorrow because you're the reason we got into this state. Do you know what I mean? Well, congrats on Tottenham on winning your trophy. Man United made it as easy as possible for you. They had 3 shots and 27% possession. And we still let them walk to a title. 3 shots and 27% possession. And I have to say, Amorim let himself down. The players let himself down. But we've got to look at the positives. And you have to be thinking, F off, Alice. What positives are you talking about? I'm just thinking of the fact that now we have to focus on the Premier League next season. We're not in a position where we've got European football next year. So we've got to focus on the Premier League and get our Premier League form up and go for 6th. Tottenham, when they missed out on European football, they came 5th and they got back in the Europa League. Newcastle, no European football this season. Look what they've done. No European football might put us in a position, but we can just focus on the Premier League and get back on track. Ruben Amorim let himself down. Ruben Amorim has not been convincing. But we give Ruben Amorim a summer. We bring in some players that can score goals. And we focus on next season. The only positive is no distractions. We can focus on our Premier League form. But I have to say it's depressing because I'm going into next season thinking we're finishing 10th and having another year out of Europe. And I'm thinking, when are we next going to be in Europe? When are we next going to be in the final today? And we had the bigger players. Tottenham might have had the better team. We had the bigger players, and they didn't show up today. And honestly, I feel like this is an awful match reaction. I'm not even going to lie. I've got no notes. I'm just going with the heart. But I'm just gutted. I'm trying not to let the emotion get the better of me. But I'm gutted. I'm angry. I'm disappointed. But I'm not surprised.